What's up, fight fans? And we're back at it with another one here at Round One Sports Talk. I wanted to start to talk about the Devin Haney and Vasily Lomachenko weigh-in and the shove, and a couple interesting things about what's going on in sports and rumors that are flying. So, without further ado, let's get right into the video. I promise you're not going to want to miss this video. All right. Where do I start? Let's start with the Devin Haney Lomachenko weigh-in. There was a lot of things said about this shove at the weigh-in, and people started saying that Devin Haney was scared and that this was a tactic to show and then Lomachenko was like, "I got him," right? Because he's saying that he detected fear in Devin Haney because of the shove, right? Okay. Well, interesting enough, this is not the first time Devin Haney shoved someone at a weigh-in. Okay, and this is not the first time we've seen weigh-ins and shoves and fighters. Look, emotions are high, tempers are flaring. Devin Haney feels like I've seen him in interviews. First of all, let me state this: that I feel that Devin Haney does not truly like Lomachenko because I think that Devin Haney's trying to tell the world what kind of man Lomachenko really is. That he's not a really good person. And he tried disrespecting Devin Haney and saying, "You're not a worthy opponent back then. You're a nobody. You have nothing I wanted." Well, the tables have turned. And now Lomachenko's begging Devin Haney for an opportunity. And this American champion right here, he didn't have to fight Lomachenko. This is not a mandatory. Devin Haney took this fight on the sole purpose that's Vasily Lomachenko. You beat that and you got that man's name on your resume, that speaks a lot, right? So that's why he's taking this fight. And to show the world and Vasily Lomachenko that he could have beat him 4 years prior. Could he have beaten him? We'll never know that answer, right? Because the fight never happened, right? But so they're going to fine Devin Haney and they're going to take money out of his purse for that show, which is unfortunate because we've seen time and time again fighters shove and punch other fighters. Who was it? Terrence Crawford took a shot at Jose Benavidez. Do you guys remember that? Yo, he was like this, of connecting in his jaw. Riddick Bowe has punched people in a weigh-in and blew the fight. Okay? And then they rescheduled the fight. Okay? Tank Davis pushed Eastside Pitbull Cruz. Floyd Mayweather grabbed Ortiz by the throat. Okay? And come to think about it, everybody that I just mentioned that shoved the other guy won the fight. Yeah. So that guy wasn't scared. He shoved them. Look, this is a fight. It is a combat sport. Did that not just entertain you? It might sell more tickets. Speaking of which, this is a great fight right here. And I recommend anyone that loves boxing or that's a fan of boxing, even a casual fan, I invite you to tune in to watch this fight right here. This is one of the biggest fights of the year, and it may be one of the biggest fights of the year. At the end of the year, when they give out the awards for the best fight or the best knockout, this is a candidate, and it's going into tonight. So we're going to see at the end of this night where this ranks as one of the best fights, right? It's for 4 belts, 135-pound weight division. The winner of this fight, if you do not know this, will face Tank Davis. He is the front runner, and he has been mandatory and mandated by the IBF to become the mandatory fighter for whoever shall hold the IBF title in the 135-pound division. So whether that's Devin Haney or Lomachenko, they fight in Tank Davis next. And that is great news. I just hope they can get it done. Because I know if Devin Haney wins, he's getting it done. But Lomachenko, I'm not too sure he's going to be too happy about fighting Tank Davis. Something tells me he's going to try to fight somebody else. But they're going to order the fight, so he might just have to fight him or run it back with Devin. You know? I don't think Devin's scared. I mean, this is a young man that his profession in life is fighting. He is currently not just a world champion, but he is the unified, undisputed world champion. And the reason why I point that out is because I need not to remind the world, right, or any casual boxing fans that are just tuning in, and I want to remind you that in order to be a unified champion of the world, you only need 2 belts. You got the WBC, you fight for the WBA, you win, you unified the 2 belts. That's all you need to be called a unified world champion. That's it. You don't need 3 belts and you don't need 4. But a different title entirely is a unified undisputed. Undisputed means there's no dispute, there's no controversy. He has all 4 belts. There is no other champion in that weight division but him. He stands alone. That is undisputed. For those that didn't know. And right now, Lomachenko has an opportunity to achieve his dream. We all know it. We all have heard it. It's been all over the internet. This is what Lomachenko wants. And will this be his last opportunity like everybody's saying? If he loses this fight, the more I look at the landscape, no, it will not be his last opportunity. He can get another opportunity. Because if Devin Haney wins this fight and he vacates those belts, exactly what's going on to Naoya Inoue's belts right now, that everybody's scrambling to try to get a piece of one of those titles. In fact, one of the Maloney brothers is fighting tonight against Junto for the WBO, I believe that is, a part of the belt. His brother just recently, last week, became a world champion for the first time. Congratulations to Maloney brothers. They are decorated boxers from Australia. I respect both of the Maloney brothers. They're talented. They work hard and they put in the work. They deserve it. Let's see if the other twin can win tonight or if Junto Nakatani is successful tonight, because this is going to be a big test for him. Now, there is a big height discrepancy, because at the weigh-in, did you see the stare down between Junto and Maloney? Did you see that? They wouldn't break eye contact. Maloney wants to win this belt, and Junto wants to win this belt. There are a lot of things and a lot of rumors in the sport of boxing about people taking dives and not fighting other fighters. Well, I want to let you know something right now. There has been one man in the sport of boxing that single-handedly messed up boxing and saved boxing with the exact same thing. Let me explain. Floyd Mayweather messed up boxing because of the O. You heard me. He messed up boxing because of the O, because no fighter wants to take a risk. No fighter wants to risk going and fighting the tough fight or take a risk of losing to sacrifice his O, because the style nowadays in boxing is to be undefeated. Did you say no one wants to lose? That means that in the same token, he saved boxing. No one wants to take a dive. No one wants to lay down. Who are you going to get? A fighter that's 15-0 undefeated? And you mean to tell me he's like, yeah, sign me up to lose? No, that's not the trend now. The thing is now retiring undefeated. Even fighters that were pretty dominant in their own right. Okay, Andrew Ward. I'm not prepared to call him the best in that ever was in his division. He did get all the titles, and he did retire early, undefeated. He didn't want to push the bar anymore and taking a chance of being defeated and dethroned. He'd rather go to the Hall of Fame with the O. And that's in part to Mayweather. That's all these kids want to do now. Did anybody in the fight with Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis, I didn't hear a lot of people talk about this at all. I really didn't hear anybody. But no one even acknowledged that both of those fighters were undefeated. And both of those fighters were putting their O on the line, daring to be great. Even though Ryan came up with a lackluster performance, he did dare to be great, didn't he? He did finally give us one of the biggest fights of the year leading up to the year. That's more that I can say for Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr., right? If look, I don't even want to bring their names up. I'm so disgusted with the sport and the business end and the ugly side of it. But I do love when we get the best fighting the best. And I do love that. There's another rumored card, and a lot of, big channels are talking about it, and it really sounds like it's almost like official. And I haven't reported on it, but I'm going to touch on it, because sometimes when things sound too good to be true, it's because they are. You know what I'm saying? And they're saying right now that a mega heavyweight showdown is in the horizon, where Usyk is going to fight Fury and Deontay Wilder is going to fight Joshua. When did we ever think we would see something like that on the same card? Are you sure? Like, when I heard it, I was like, I don't even, what? Those are a lot of big names. But then when you back up from the situation, you realize Anthony Joshua is no longer the champion. Deontay Wilder is no longer the champion. The only two champions that are going to be fighting that night is Usyk and Fury. Times has changed. And both of those fighters, Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, need some big wins to turn their career around to get back in title contention. Because both of them, not only once, but both of them, numerous loss against the same opponent, and they're just not going to give them another title shot. There's other people in line because they lost their opportunities. So now Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua's names are on a co-main event featuring the heavyweight title fight for 4 belts, mind you. I mean, when you look at it and you think at it like that, you could see how they could put the fight together. Having all those egos on one card, though, how did they pull that off? But when you're losing and you're like, I'll take anything, to prove myself, this is what kind of happens. And if this card is true, that's a big card. So, tonight stands to be a real good night for boxing. I am really, really excited. I can't wait to see the fights tonight. On the card, we have a pretty impressive card. We have a lot of upcoming talent. I want to pay attention to the prelims because I like to see the next guys coming up. I want to pay attention to what the future holds for boxing. Boo Boo Schuster, the Russells. A lot of young guys are coming up in boxing right now. You got Antoine. The list goes on of good, high talented, and there are a lot of good top ranked fighters coming out. From that top rank side right now too. The PBC, they're practically leading the way, if not leading the way. So we have a lot of big fights, and Tell me what you think about Devin Haney and Lomachenko. Do you think that that was a scare tactic? Come on? Do you really believe that? You know what I'm saying? You know, um, I've seen in fights though where the guy shoved the other guy, and out of fear to try to like get in the other guy's head. Yeah, I seen that, and then he went out there and he got his ass whooped. Case in point, Oscar De La Hoya and the Vargas kid. You know what I'm saying? He shoved them, he pushed him, and he went out there and he got wiped down. So look, what I take from the shove is just testosterone. It's just in the moment. Sell a couple more tickets. Get the fans hyped up. That's all I took away from it. That shove is neither going to do or make the fight. Whatever's going to happen in that ring, that's going to transpire in that ring, is going to take place. Ain't no moment or any of that going to play into it. There ain't no tuck rule here. They're going to have to go in there and slug it out. So I want to go live probably tonight, 9 o'clock. I invite you to join me. We can talk about this. And if, I get enough viewers, enough likes, whatever, I'll even have people call in. We can talk. And we can also talk about your favorite fighter. We don't necessarily have to talk about the Devin Haney fight, but we're obviously going to talk about that. But we could also talk about other things, and upcoming fights, because there's a lot of hype behind this fight right here. But if I had to say one of the biggest fights of this year that had the biggest hype was the Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis fight. Although it wasn't on the level of skilled fight, but on the level of revenue and people tuning in, that was pretty high. Okay, now this fight right here is more. It's big. It's big. I mean, look at the buzz it's getting. When you're fighting in Las Vegas, you made it. That's that Vegas money. There's no money like Vegas money. No money like Vegas money. But this fight right here is more based on skill. This is skill meeting skill right here. This is what we're seeing. Vasily High-Tech Lomachenko probably got some of the best footwork in boxing in quite some time. I haven't seen footwork like Vasily High-Tech Lomachenko's footwork in quite some time. But I also haven't seen a young man like Devin Haney that understands distance and understands the outside and sticks to the game plan as well as Devin Haney. Devin Haney sticks to that game plan. Like, listen, everybody, Mike Tyson said it, everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the face. Well, you can punch Devin Haney right in the face and he's sticking to the game plan. He's proven it time and time again. And as far as everyone saying that Devin Haney is the bigger man and Lomachenko is the smaller man, did my eyes deceive me at the weigh-in? Did Lomachenko not look bigger than Devin Haney? Devin Haney was taller, but Devin Haney looked thinner. Lomachenko looked more filled. Look at his gut. Look at his arms. Look at his shoulders. Look at his chest. And Devin Haney's arms look thin. Where are you calling this guy a heavyweight? When the two guys that Lomachenko fought that were taller than him, both of them were bigger than Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? But they're building narratives. They're setting the stage, just like they took Lomachenko off the pound-for-pound list. These are all promotional management moves. This is like chess. They move a piece for a reason. They did something for a reason. It's easier to take Lomachenko off the pound-for-pound list so that Devin Haney doesn't get credit for beating a top pound-for-pound fighter, right? If he beats him. But if Lomachenko is to win, it's easier to put him back on the list than to take him off after Devin Haney beat him. You see? These are all little moves and promotional tricks and things. You know, um, you know, I think that Devin Haney, um, he really, he really has his work cut out for him tonight. But I see him being victorious. So with that, let me know what you think in the comments below. Please like, subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel grow. And I'm on to the next one. Peace.